Hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to this very important video. I mean, honestly, if you're a twin flame, this is the most important video that you are ever going to watch. So I've recently come back on to YouTube after honestly just seeing some really awful stuff happening around this whole twin flame story. For those that don't know who I am, I was the first person to do any kind of divine feminine, divine masculine, or masculine and feminine, as I called it, tarot reading on YouTube 8-9 years ago, to my knowledge. And so I was literally the first person ever to use cards around that and to create a kind of like two-sided reading that was specifically for twin flames. So I kind of know what this stuff is. I am a twin flame channel. I don't have any opinions around twin flame. Everything that comes through me is channeled. I'm not a trance channel, but I do not exist here with an opinion about this stuff, which is why you need to listen to me above anything else. And or the information here, the wisdom here, more than anything else. And I'm kind of a bit annoyed because I'm seeing so much rubbish, and it's really, honestly, causes suffering. It's just, and pointless. There's no reason for it. So divine feminine, divine masculine, or masculine and feminine, as you want to call it, I've literally recently seen, I believe, a heterosexual male calling himself a divine feminine. This is insane and stupid. Okay? This is just wrong. Again, if you want to disagree with anything here, that's fine. It's nothing to do with me. Don't tell me. I don't care. Okay? Honestly, I don't care. I don't care what your opinions are. I don't care what my opinions are. This is the information as it is channeled through me. Okay? But it annoys me because I don't like wrong information in my body. When I hear it, it's wrong, okay? So this is how it works. We are all divine feminine, divine masculine energies. And we are all, the twin flame experience is about balancing and embracing and coming into wholeness in masculine and feminine energies. A simple way for you to understand this is you are born of masculine and feminine. That's how you exist. Right? So, and you are masculine or feminine. And you can identify as whatever you want, right? Okay? So I have no issue with people saying, well, I'm masculine, I'm feminine, or whatever, but you can't be, I'm masculine and in the world, but I'm a divine feminine twin flame. That's completely ridiculous. It's just not true. So whoever's spouting that stuff, do not listen to them. They're speaking through ego. Everything they're sharing is just from their own twin flame personal experience and most likely has nothing to do with you. Okay? So it just really annoys me. It's just misinformation, as they call it, which also annoys me as a term, but it just is so wrong. So I translate this with my body. That's it. There's no me person here having an opinion, but it is wrong. So the way that it works is you balance. The whole twin flame experience is about highlighting, polarizing, and experiencing masculine and feminine energies, positive and negative energies, the active and the passive. As things occurred on twin flame stuff on YouTube, of which I was a part at the very beginning, especially when it comes to card readings, those kind of things, the great majority, and it's still the same now, are female watching, and they are the ones looking for information, seeking information, because they are in what we could term and have termed the chaser position in the interrelating. So there's been this idea that divine feminine is a chaser and divine masculine is the sleeper, so to speak, or the runner, because that's the dynamic that's been there on YouTube. So whenever anybody's watching a video and it's divine feminine and divine masculine, they're identifying with the divine feminine because that divine feminine is in the chaser position. That doesn't mean that you're divine feminine. It doesn't matter what information is resonating with you and where it comes from. Here's what you really need to understand. When people say, oh, gender doesn't matter and masculine feminine doesn't matter, this is true. But by saying that you are identifying as divine feminine or divine masculine, you are not behaving in that way. So for all intents and purposes on YouTube, it should just be about runners and chasers, honestly, not divine feminine, divine masculine. It's kind of irrelevant. The issue has been that within the terminology, divine feminine has been connected to chasers, as in people that are or awakened or awakening or more conscious, and divine masculine has been more unconscious, so to speak, or passive or not interested or negative. So when anyone's saying, well, I'm divine feminine or I'm divine masculine, they're really just associating with those energies, right? So when people say, oh, it doesn't matter about divine feminine, divine masculine, it's about the energy, that is true. But if you then take on that identity and say, well, I am divine feminine because this is what's resonating with me, that is completely insane. Essentially, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. So the better way, and what I'm going to be doing from now on, is speaking from, if I'm channeling specific information, and from now on, I think I'm probably going to be channeling specific information from what has been called divine masculine. Here's the education part, and here's what's going to blow your mind. Most people, most women, females, which is by the YouTube stats that I can show you on the back end of my channel and most people's other channels, is a vast, almost 100% majority of people that are watching these videos. The energy that the chaser twin is in is masculine. It's more focused, more aggressive, more action oriented. And the energy that the runner twin is in is much more feminine. The female twin flames are seeking the feminine energy of the runner or sleeper twin. They are seeking that. I want to give you an example of a masculine, heterosexual male twin that I have worked with. And so this is how I understand when there is a male heterosexual chaser twin. So I've worked in that energy, and not just once, but I've worked in this energy, honestly, not that often because it is rare, but the one specific one I'm thinking about, I downloaded a lot of information about it because there wasn't a lot of understanding there. So the asking was intense for the receiving to move through me for him. And here is what it said. You're seeking the feminine part. His masculine part is fine, is whole. He's not more feminine because he's in a seeking position. His masculine piece is done, like the active. He's in the masculine energy, of active, knowing, focused, action-oriented. He's in the action-oriented, positive position. I think this relationship is good. I want it. I say yes. I'm positive about this relationship. That is the masculine position. So the masculine seeks the feminine, to embrace the feminine into wholeness. Is it true that it has to be, it's all one within you, 100%? But the awareness is, I'm seeking the part of this which is relaxed, which is not that bothered, which isn't making a big deal out of it, which is just keeping calm and carrying on and chopping wood and carrying water and getting on with it, which is literally what the sleeper twins are doing. That is what they're seeking, peacefulness. So what happens in the dynamic is both of those energies are actually not whole. So it's not that the masculine energy is completely knowing itself, or the feminine energy is completely knowing itself, because that can only really happen in union, honestly, in a united experience of that, which is literally just that those energies are working with each other, united within our being, which means sometimes it's appropriate to take action, sometimes it's appropriate not to take action. It's like a conversation. Life and interaction, interrelating, is a conversation. Sometimes you speak and sometimes you listen. That's what creates the relationship. When there is conflict within this, which happens in twin flame relationships, as in there's friction, there's not conversation, there's not back and forth and flow of those energies, then it's not harmonious, as they say. It's not flowing. It feels difficult, and we can suffer in it because there's friction. It's almost like it causes, injury, honestly. But the thing that you need to understand is that chaser twins are in a masculine energy, essentially, seeking a feminine energy. That's why the best advice for chaser twins is to embrace the feminine energy, embrace not doing, embrace, in relationship to that dynamic anyway, or if that masculine energy is there, the doing, the focus, to apply that doing and focus elsewhere, because that where it can be met with a harmonious response, if that makes sense. So to take your action to something else that is going to be reciprocal, because that will exist. So in reality, the divine masculine, yes, there's been way more male sleeper or unconscious or runner twins, okay? But that doesn't mean that when you are in an active position that you are divine feminine, as in you are active in the energy, you are focused in it, you are taking action within the story of the twin flame, right? That is a masculine position. So the whole reason the divine feminine, divine masculine, and how that was created on YouTube was through females seeking answers on males. Essentially, it doesn't mean anything. So so flipping it is completely ridiculous. Do you understand? You can't, it's just that you're in a kind of like more active, really, what's called the divine feminine, as I've said, is actually in the more active position. It's actually in a more masculine position. So it's seeking that feminine energy to meet it. So when there is a male heterosexual, and it doesn't have to be heterosexual, it really, really doesn't matter for real. And anybody that's listening to this thinking that what is being said here is it has to be a certain way is not hearing what is being said here. It can be anything. That's the point. In the same way that we are all born of male and female, and we present as male and female, or female. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And in the most part, we identify as that with the body that is female or male, or masculine or feminine, as we can call it. Unless in the everyday world, you have a different experience, you can't have a different experience as a twin flame in terms of masculine and feminine. That's just, or identifying with that it's just You can do it. It's just not going to do you any favors. It's not helpful, and it's not a good thing to be teaching people, those that are teaching that I'm a man, a heterosexual man, and I'm divine feminine twin. It's completely insane, because the divine feminine and the divine masculine exist, and that is not that. Honestly, like it makes me angry, right? It's so wrong. I'm not even going to go into it, because the whole point of this is that we realize divine feminine and divine masculine. The only reason a man, a heterosexual man, would be identifying as divine feminine is because they are having the experience of a chaser and literally making up stuff, making up things, making up stuff from their ego. Most people that are like teaching twin flame stuff are just speaking from their personal experience. And they might say that, but that's just not what you should be listening to. This is a higher perspective, higher vibration, spiritual awakening experience. You can't just listen to anybody and say, well, this is my experience, and take that on as though that's going to help you if you want help. And I'm talking about people that say this is going to do what I do what I say, and you're going to achieve this outcome. This is just, I personally, as a human, have no idea what is going to work for you. Only you know that. The information that is shared here is channeled. I am not a trance channel. I speak through this vehicle of self, channeled material. It's all channeled. I personally have not only do I have no desire to tell you what's right or wrong or what to do, I actually have a negative. I do not want to. I much more have an ego that will go, I do not want to do that, which is potentially why this is part of my journey to move into the neutral, right? Because my natural space is to not say anything, because it's completely pointless. The only reason I'm saying things now is actually because there has to be a counterbalance and a counterpoint to all the idiocy that is existing. And this is what this is about. And also, on an even truer level, it's just because I feel like this is what is happening right now. And to be truly honest, that is how I operate. I just do what is happening. I get out of the way and I do what is happening. I act. I allow my body to be a puppet for what is happening. My speech, everything. So that is why you should listen to, and in general, you should listen to channels. I only listen to channels. And there are other non-trance channels that exist. But you've got to remember, anybody that's in this space is dealing with imbalance. We're speaking of imbalance. There's always going to be, it's about imbalance. It's about understanding imbalance, which is also about understanding balance. So, takeaways. Divine feminine and divine masculine exist. The whole point, genuinely, is to find yourself as divine feminine or divine masculine. Neither of those have anything to do with runner or chaser or awakened or sleeper twins. Neither of them. In the most part, there have been female heterosexual women in this chaser awakened position. In general, there have been male heterosexual men in this sleeper unconscious-esque type. Though, honestly, having worked with both of those, that's not actually how it is. It's just a kind of like cutting off because it's easier and because of timing. It's got nothing to do with the individuals, honestly. The interplay of the story, nothing to do with you, nothing you can do about it. There's another little takeaway for you. You can be true divine feminine or divine masculine, it doesn't matter which, in anybody, honestly, okay? But if you, in general, in your daily life, are identifying as one thing, you can't identify as another thing in a twin flame relationship and say, just the twin flame, this is what I am. Anybody that's doing that it's literally separating. I'm not even going to go into it. I can't even talk about it. It's so crazy. Having said that, if you are an individual and you feel like you want that to be true, that is 100% fine. You can, anything literally can be and is true for you. Anything you believe is true for you. The only problem comes when you start to spout this. If you need other people to believe your perspective, and this is true for any twin flame perspective, you will suffer. That is why, if you're speaking publicly in a way that's kind of like normalizing that, you're doing other people a disservice, because be careful what you're inviting people into. And do not, when you are putting yourself in a position of teacher, anybody that's making twin flame videos here and kind of like is claiming to have something to teach or share that is going to help you, they're putting themselves in a kind of teacher position. Anything that they're sharing is going to be experienced through the lens of, you know more than I do. And that's why anyone that you're listening on here, listening to this, you are doing that. I'm telling you now, do not do that with other humans just sharing their experience. Just do not do it. If you want to listen to people sharing their experience on YouTube, go for it. Listen to other people's experiences. Do it as much as you can. But do not emulate anything or do anything that they tell you to do. Honestly, it's not going to help you. That is their individual truth, their individual journey. Only listen to channeled material, for genuine channeled material through genuine channels. And be aware that anybody can pick up some tarot cards or some oracle cards and read them to you. That doesn't mean they're a genuine channel. It's up to you. You've got to start using your discernment. I know if you're here, you're already doing that. But please, I just like and comment on this video so we can get this video out to the people that haven't seen it, because this information is important. Now I feel like I can rest. It's just complete. Now here I am. Hello, this is me. Now there's nothing to say, nothing to move through me. So this is actually a really good example of how it works. Hi, I don't have any opinions or care. I don't care, honestly, personally, about any of this stuff. My job is a messenger, is a twin flame messenger. And this is what happens through me to get the information to you. It happens through this body, with this voice. It's exactly the same. But the way that I know when it's my opinion or my ego or channeled is if I'm talking about twin flame stuff, because I genuinely do not care, because my personal knowing and wisdom is that there's nothing to do ever, and that everything is always perfect. That doesn't mean that I'm consistently living in that, but I know that that's true. So I'm not going to speak from any other place than that. personally around twin flame stuff. There is so much more fun to have in the world than twin flame stuff, honestly. But I am a twin flame messenger. I have really, really important messages for twin flames. And when I feel them, I must get them out. And that is it. It can be difficult for some people to understand, difficult for me to understand. But essentially, if you are coming to me for twin flame wisdom or any wisdom, you are asking me for any wisdom, it is channeled. It is going to be very specific to you as well. And it is going to work for you if you are coming here for that. It's channeled. It is not my opinion. My opinions, who knows? Anybody that thinks they have anything to tell you about twin flame relationships is wrong, including me. And I know that, which is why I don't have any opinion on it. It's insane. It's chaos because it's time. It's so much bigger than a story. It's so much bigger than the twin flame story. It is just love existing, doing its work. That is the twin flame story. What I share here is channeled information about how that is evolving. And there are also really important points that, and I'm essentially now I'm just correcting misinformation, disinformation, whatever you want to call it, because that's my job and that's what I have to do. Honestly, and personally, my only personal my personal drive here is I do not want twin flames to suffer 100%. There's no need for anybody in a twin flame experience, relationship, anything to suffer. And that is my only personal desire. And it's not just twin flames, but like any unnecessary suffering is absolutely where I do not go, everything's fine. I'm not that evolved, so to speak, as to be like, I don't need to do anything. Or potentially I'm more evolved than that because I'm aware that I exist and my job is to do what moves through me as an individual. I also have an individual me that I also channel through, which is just me and nobody else, and not for anybody else. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. That's why I said you can believe, you can whatever you want, but that's personal to you. Do not use that as teaching. You don't tell people. You can express yourself. You 100% should express yourself. Most probably you're going to feel better, but that's not teaching. That is not. Do not believe that what works for you is going to work for anybody else in any capacity. It's just not going to. So why would you give anybody any advice ever? It's completely pointless, honestly. But channeled material is extremely useful and is necessary for twin flames. And this is what happens here. So you got to the end of the video. Well done. When I get ranty, it's usually I'm translating the no's that are moving through me very powerfully around twin flame stuff. And you can just trust. I'm not going to tell you it comes from Jesus or Yeshua or Mary Magdalene, or I'm channeling from this, that, and the other, because honestly, it comes from love. It comes from all of those spaces. We could choose and focus and we could wrap energy around it, but it just comes from wisdom. And that's why you should trust it. And that's why you're here at exactly the right place. And that's why, honestly, you should share this. You just should. I just want everybody to know this information. At the same time, those that have ears to hear, eyes to see, always. But I'm just really, it's just not good when there is unnecessary suffering because people are being taught incorrect information. Honestly, it's only going to keep people away from their joy. And that is our service, you know, to bring each other into the path of least resistance, which is love. That's it. Thank you so much. Namaste. And I will see you again very soon.